AEW Dynamite draws record low ratings. Plus, we have an update on a possible AEW brand split. And WWE debuts a new title and its first champion is revealed. It's all in the Cultaholic Wrestling news right now. This week, Dynamite was presented on a Tuesday, a title Tuesday to be exact, and the ratings are in, and they're not great, are they, Andrew?
No, so AEW Dynamite title Tuesday this week averaged 329,000 viewers on TBS. Now, this figure is down over 50% from last week and is the lowest audience in Dynamite history. This worked out as a 0.10 rating in the 18 to 49 demographic. The audience halved from last week.
Now, before we get into the reasons why creatively this show hadn't drawn eyes, there were mitigating factors around it, as well as not instead of. So Dynamite went up against the second hour of NXT on the CW, and I think WWE did a blinding job promoting that show from St. Louis.
And what feels like they've been doing for a long time as well, just promoting the fact that Randy Orton is obviously going to be there as well, another big factor, I assume.
Yeah, they promoted the heck out of it. Plus, you had the Major League Baseball playoffs, the opening of the NHL season. Plus, obviously, presented outside of its normal day with a card that I'm going to be honest, people weren't that interested in seeing. It was one of those shows where it was branded Title Tuesday and it was tried to give a special vibe to it, but I must be honest with you, there was not much on that show.
I mean,
that really set my soul on fire.
The title of Title Tuesday sort of gives the illusion to me that there would be more titles on the line during that show. However, there was only one title, and that was Mercedes Moné.
Yeah, that was it. That was your title for Title Tuesday, and it was the go-home show for Wrestle Dream as well. I get that the schedule sometimes things move around, but I feel like it almost felt like AEW just didn't bother because they were up against NXT and a bunch of other things, and it kind of and now. We will get into some other mitigating factors when it comes to the creative of this, but I do want to point out, even like as I'm buzzing for Wrestle Dream this weekend. I think there is some incredible matches on the lineup for this weekend. But you know what? When Raw drew the lowest ratings ever, we called it out, and there was mitigating factors and creative. And Dynamite has drawn its lowest ratings, so we're calling out mitigating factors and creative. When it comes to the plans for Title Tuesday, there were other things in place, but there were other things going against it when it came to putting that show together.
Yeah, so Fightful Slate reports, we're told that AEW and Tony Khan had been working around the clock for the last couple of weeks across various shows due to the implications and travel changes from the hurricanes that drastically affected their plans. AEW ended up being very happy with Title Tuesday. We're told there were many talent missing shows and last-minute changes that the company needed to work around over the last 2 weeks.
Compared to Title Tuesday from last year, they had over 500,000 viewers last year, and it was up against 2/3 of NXT's viewership going head-to-head for the full 2 hours. This year, they were up against one of the hours of NXT's audience and didn't do as well. This is a big thing that I think I know AEW needs to address. They've just signed this mega money deal with WBD, which is going to guarantee a rival in the wrestling landscape for years and years to come. Yep. And that's really exciting. But at the moment, it just seems to be outside of a few stories, it seems to be week-to-week booking and just like, here's a match because of reasons. That's how it feels to me as a consumer, and I think that's a big issue, and I want some more stories being told in that. Both sides are guilty of sometimes going, here's a match for reasons, but none more so than AEW, I would say.
No, I do agree. It does. So we said on the pitches video as well, Wrestle Dream has very much crept up, it feels like. And it does feel a little bit maybe cobbled together, especially with the last few weeks at least anyway. And again, there's factors in all of this. Obviously, there's the hurricane stuff going on in America right now, which is going to restrict a lot of travel for people too. But I mean, yeah, it's
funny how, like, and to be honest, it's funny how when we talk about stuff like this, you'll have already made your mind up. You'll have watched exactly the same thing as so many other people this morning. We thank you for watching what we do, but exactly the same people will go, oh, I can't believe you're defending it. Oh, I can't believe you're attacking it. You're watching the same thing. You'll draw your own conclusions anyway. I don't really care. But what I care about is the fact that this is a really bad number, considering what they're up against, and creatively, I think it needs to be stronger going into this new deal.
Yes.
That's it. In-ring, Wrestle Dream will be a Wrestle Dream.
I actually
Chef's
can't
kiss.
wait. I'm genuinely buzzing for the show itself because the card looks really, really good. Really good.
Yeah, in-ring, it'll be great. I just really wish they get that creative stuff right because, you know, as we talked about with Maria Kanellis yesterday and how the fact that she's been waiting months to hear whether or not she's getting her contract renewed, there are so many things that are falling through the cracks right now within that company. And then you've got WWE that seems to be going on all cylinders right now. So you really need to be in a position to go, we need to get these things right because the biggest wrestling promotion on the planet is absolutely caning it at the moment.
But also not without their faults as well. That's
not
to be
without
said.
their faults as well.
That's the thing.
Needs to be said.
Yes.
Not without their faults as well. But in terms of live attendance, in terms of gates, certainly in terms of creative, they're doing some great things at the moment. And AEW really needs to fight that. One way they could do that is a way of presenting their talent in a different manner. And the conversation of the roster split came up during the Wrestle Dream media call yesterday.
Yes, so Tony Khan was asked if he would consider doing a roster split in the future, and he said he was thinking about roster management and had considered a brand split, but with the new TV deal coming in, it was a little bit too early to speculate on whether he would do that or not.
I could see them doing it though once we get into a position, and I quite liked what they were sort of doing during Punk's era on Collision.
Yeah,
not so much the infighting and the and the negativity and the toxic backstage behavior, but more so the idea of a soft brand split where you've got some guys that are more focused on one brand than t'other. Yeah,
no, I think we've spoken about it many times before, and I think it would definitely benefit some people who maybe don't get featured as much as they would like to. I think it would be easier then if we do have some people on one brand, then that sort of leaves spots open on another brand for those people to then flourish and build themselves up. Yeah,
absolutely. And we're going into a time, as we said, where AEW struck a new deal with WBD, but they're looking for outsider deals as well. This is an interesting one because the first signs of that first new deal outside of WBD have come to light yesterday. All Elite Wrestling signing a deal with Fox Sports Mexico. They're going to host Dynamite, Rampage, for as long as we've got it, and Collision. It's part of a long-term agreement. The pay-per-views are also going to feature on Fox Sport Premium from this Saturday, with Wrestle Dream being the first one. Ooh. I could see them doing some stuff with Fox now that SmackDown has left.
Yes.
This deal with Fox Sports Mexico is the first sign of that. Maybe this new show, AEW Shockwave, featured on Fox.
I mean, that's brilliant for that, especially like the Mexico market as well, because I feel like that's your best friend, Jeff Jarrett, has definitely spoken that he wants to penetrate that, nothing dirty, penetrate that market.
Wait a minute, does Karen know about this?
Penetrate that market because it's such a huge market, and also I think it lends well within AEW's favour because there's a lot of stars on that roster that are luchadors and have that luchador-ness within their repertoire as well, and I think that would, suit an audience that loves that kind of stuff, which is brilliant. Yeah, no, all the more power to them.
The Wrestle Dream this weekend, 9 pitches on the channel right now. You'll get predictions with Sam and Ross a little later on today. Live reactions with Sam and Ross throughout the night, and what happened at Wrestle Dream. No WTF moments for Wrestle Dream. I misspoke. I erred yesterday when I said we'll be getting WTF moments on the Patreon for Wrestle Dream. We will not. WTF moments will begin on our Patreon with Crown Jewel. So no WTF moments for Wrestle Dream, but we will be getting AEW WTF moments very, very soon. Just not this one. All right, cool. Thank you for supporting us on Patreon, by the way, at patreon.com/Cultaholic. Let's end on some WWE flavored news as a new title has entered circulation.
Oh my God, everybody, hold on to your hats, your horses, and make sure you're sitting down. Yesterday, the tournament concluded to crown the first ever WWE Speed Women's Champion. And congratulations to Candice LeRae, who defeated Io Sky in the tournament finals to be the first WWE Speed Women's Champion. LeRae will defend the title against opponents in 3-minute matches. Obviously, that's broadcasted exclusively on X. Andrade obviously being the second ever men's WWE Speed Champion too, defeating the inaugural champion, Ricochet. Happy for Candice.
Yeah, happy for Candice LeRae to get a nod here. I thought that Io Sky would win that tournament. It seemed to be going that way, but I'm happy for Candice.
Someone mentioned something on the old Twitter machine saying that it's actually quite nice because in all the singles or the last few singles matches that Io and Candice have had, Io's won them all, and I think they had like a big. I think this was around the anniversary of when they had their title match on NXT TakeOver 31, where Io Shirai retained her championship against Candice LeRae, and it was kind of like a nice little, on the anniversary of that happening, Candice has finally got a win and a championship over Io Sky.
There it is. Yeah. There it is. So congratulations to Candice LeRae as the first ever Speed Women's Champion. Sound Drivers on Twitch later today, twitch.tv/Cultaholic from 6 p.m. BST. You can hear Sam and myself right now on the Cultaholic Classic Nitro Review. Nice. We watch every episode of Nitro from the very beginning to its bitter end. And for the latest wrestling news at any time, you can check out the brand spanking new website at cultaholic.com. Keys.
Love you, bye.